All right, this is our 2015 Maserati Quattroporte. Just got the tires redone on it and replaced. And we will need to get the brakes done. They say that we're down to 1 millimeter left. I did not get the sensor to pick up in the car, so we're going to take it off and see what sort of problems we get into when we're in there. My guess is that they probably just didn't connect the sensor and that there's really not an issue there, or possibly it's just one side is a little bit less than the other. So here's the tools that we're going to use. You know, we've got a lug wrench, a C-clamp, the brake parts are down there. I've got a rubber mallet. I may switch over to a hammer if I need it, and then some brake cleaner and some lube for the back of the pads, and some sockets. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take the lug nuts off, and then we'll get to the jack point and jack the car up. Okay, so I went ahead and got the lug wrench out of the toolkit. It's a 17 millimeter. And it's a pretty nice lug wrench, so it's not like the standard trash that you get in most cars. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and jack it up. I'll show you where the jack point is. I'm going to use just a standard floor jack, but that's where the jack point is. The jack that comes with it has a little part that inserts inside that, but I'm just going to go ahead and jack it up with my standard floor jack. Okay, so we got the wheel off, and we're going to go ahead and clean up the caliper. These are just typical Brembo calipers, and we'll get everything cleaned up so it looks pretty when we're done. Okay. So we're just going to put a little bit of brake cleaner on it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do now that we've got it cleaned off is we're going to go ahead and break this bolt in the back. It's a 13 millimeter. And that's going to pull that main larger pin out. Okay, and you pull that pin out. And the next thing that we're going to do is this pin and this pin here. You can depress on this and take the pressure off, and that's going to make it easier to slide out. Since I went ahead and got these parts off of eBay, I checked the fitment of this part versus the old part, and it is the same. So we should be able to pop out the old pads now and start putting it back together. So they just slide out. There may be a little bit of pressure. You got to push back on the piston a little bit. You can either use wedge something in there and start putting pressure back on it. And that's going to push the fluid back into the brake reservoir. You can also use a C-clamp here if you want to. And you're going to want want to get those pistons pressed all the way back so that you can fit the new pads in there. Because you can see in here, there's one of the pistons and there's the other one, and there's the two on that side. Okay, or three on that side.
I think it moved these forward when I moved those in the back.
Okay, before you go ahead and push the pistons back, you're going to want to come in here. This is the engine bay. Over on the driver's side, there's a compartment here, and you unscrew your brake fluid cap. And we're going to go ahead and liberally put some of the anti-squeal on the back of the new pads. Just sort of rub that around. Now we're going to slide those pads into the calipers. Okay, we think that we found why the indicator did not come on, because I don't see a sensor coming out of here. I'm going to play around with this for a few minutes and see if I've got what I need to fix that. Okay, so I did have a new sensor I could put in. So I disconnected right here. I'm going to slide the old broken one off. See, there was nothing there. And then I'm going to insert the new one on here. Okay, so I've got the new one connected on there, and then we're going to insert this lead onto the pad. Okay, so I've got the sensor connected into the pad now, and we're going to put that guy back in. All right, now we're going to go ahead and put the other pad in the back. So now we're going to go ahead and put that top pin in. And make sure we get it all the way in. And then we're going to put our brace in underneath it, and then our center pin. And we're going to put that last pin in. And then tap that all the way through also. Okay, so we're going ahead and putting the wheel back on. One of the things you're going to want to make sure that you do before you drive the car is pump the brakes, and also you're going to put the brake fluid cap back on. But you're going to pump the brakes so that the pads will expand out to the rotor.